We are in Kansas finally. So we left this morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we made it across the border, and we're still cruising east. Vin slept most of the way.
I stayed up the first hour and a half, and then
maybe 30 minutes.
No.
And then he was out, which is fine. Whitetail buck, some ducks, hopefully shoot some ducks, maybe some pheasants and quail. So we'll kind of see how the week unfolds. We are looking forward to this trip. We've been looking forward to it for a long time, and we are finally here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it holds.
All right.
We are in the afternoon of our first hunt here in Kansas, and we're heading into one of our favorite sets. It's kind of a transition area between bedding and feeding. And I got Vin, my cameraman, so he's gonna be running things for me on the camera, and hopefully we'll see what happens this evening. But we are always optimistic that things are going to turn out for us, because we are in Kansas and you never know what's behind the next bush. So we are heading in. We got about a half-mile walk, and the wind's good coming out of the south, so it should be a good sit for us. We are close to the tree stand, as you can see down here on the bottom, right back over there. See all those cedars? That's the bedding area, and they come up those draws right there. And then our tree stand is about right there. So we're close. We're getting ready to inch our way in.
Yeah.
Well, that's the action we need. We need a hot doe to be running back and forth and bring those big bucks in, because she was definitely hot. That buck came through the bottom, and he had his nose to the ground, his mouth open, and there was a doe about 50 yards away, and she kind of just went out and about. It'll be cool. It'll be good. Same route. Can you film her? Really? Yeah, I feel like her. So that was pretty cool. That same little buck that went north just came back through chasing that doe. So there's definitely a hot doe in the area, because she was out in the field hauling butt, and he was trying to cut her off and lock her down. Now we just need the big boys to come through.
Well, we made it up in the tree stand. We got Dad below me with the bow. I'm up here filming. We just had a big 8-point buck come right behind us, like right as we hopped in the tree stand. He was only about 250 yards away behind us. If there was no wind, we could have called him in. He's been fighting today, obviously. He was hurt. He was limping along. And yeah, it's just, that was a really nice deer. Definitely a shooter for Dad here. But we'll get on some other stuff for sure. So, what'd you think of that deer?
What did I think of that deer? I think we were 20 minutes too late is what I think. That was probably, it was a big 8. I tried to get it on my cell phone, but we couldn't get it on this, but big 8. Probably 150s, maybe 160s. Older deer, he'd been fighting. Whew. I would take him in a minute. We just gotta get something to come right here, baby.
Yeah. This is where we're looking for them to come at here, right here.
It's a little bit cold today. Probably in the low 30s. It's been relatively slow. And then I saw some does through the trees. Some fawns kind of bouncing around. And then the next thing I know, to my right, comes this little buck dogging this doe. Hopefully the action's gonna heat up here pretty quick. We got a good wind right in our face. And hopefully it doesn't switch on us and we get these deer kind of cruising. These bucks are gonna cruise up and down this creek bottom. Well, it's about 8:40, and about 8:30 we had a little tiny buck, like 5 or 6 does. One's definitely hot because he won't leave her. He's chasing her all over this creek bottom. And of course, at the worst time possible, I get a tickle in the back of my throat, and I start having a coughing attack while the deer are right underneath me. The thing is, they could care less. I guess we have so many cows around here that they make so much noise that it doesn't even bother them, because I was coughing pretty good. And they were 15 yards from me, and a few of them kind of looked up, but they could care less. That was pretty cool. Now we just need a big buck to come through checking for does. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It was cold this morning. Bright, low 30s. I'm self-filming today. Vinny had some Zoom classes for school that he had to take care of this morning, so unfortunately he didn't get to come and sit in the tree stand, which was probably better because it was cold and a little windy. Meh. Meh. Yes. I heard him crashing up here going nuts, so I'm sure he's down. But we'll back it. We'll just give it some time. Meh. Okay, so I need to tell you what just happened. So I just shot my buck 10 minutes ago. And 10 minutes after I shoot my buck, this 160-inch 10-point just came through my shooting lane. So I filmed him. I drew back on him just to say that I did and let him walk. Absolutely awesome. I still am extremely thankful for the one that I shot. But yeah, that was a big deer. He's a big 10. I bet he's 160 inches plus. That's where, that's where your ethics come in. Your morals, your ethics. If I was anybody else, I wouldn't say anybody else, but if I didn't have good morals and good ethics, I could have easily shot that deer. Came in the exact same spot. Right between 25 and 30 yards. There he is, right there. Right laying under that tree. I thought I heard him crash. Nice. That is fantastic. There he is right there. Sweet. Well, here he is, just an absolute fantastic deer. Awesome brow tines. I mean, big long main beams. I mean, just a really nice Kansas 4.5-year-old whitetail. You know, I couldn't be more pleased on the way things worked out. Lonnie and I came in here last night at about 10:30 and got the stand fixed up because no one's been in it for several years. And I sit at the first morning and have this toad walk through, and just absolutely could not be more pleased on how awesome this hunt went. You know, it was funny because, you know, when it comes to hunting, you have to have some kind of ethics and morals. And after I shot this deer, 5 minutes after that, a really nice, probably low to mid 160 10-point came in, probably a 5.5-year-old deer, really nice deer, and came in the same spot. Easily could have shot him, you know, but that's not in my makeup. That's not in the way I was raised, my ethics, my morals. So I'm pleased with this deer. And, you know, people say, well, why do you hold out for different deer, and why do you not shoot the first thing you see? Well, one of the reasons is this exactly. You know, I could have shot a smaller little forky this morning and then filled the freezer, but I know what's in Kansas. And this guy came in with these giant brow tines and big long main beams, and you know, I felt I wanted to put my tag on him, or try anyway, and I made a good shot. He only went about 60 yards, and here he is, just a trophy in my book. It's gonna fill the freezer. It's gonna be great to, every time we eat a steak or a roast or a hamburger, we'll bring back the memories of this hunt. So again, like we always say, we really appreciate you guys following along, being with us. Thanks for always supporting us. Thanks for watching Western Obsessions. All right, so we're back at the tree stand, and I'm gonna try to find my arrow. Now that we found the deer, we're gonna try to find my arrow. I just want to look at the arrow. I'd like to recover it. I mean, see how it is. So the tree stand is right there. Do you see it? The buck had to clear these little small little, I guess they're saplings that are probably the suckles, I guess. So he had to clear those right there. And then I did find some blood back over here. So from here to here, with the angle of the tree stand back there, is probably where the arrow is, but we're trying to find it. Here somewhere. There it is. Oh, knocked the fletching off. Blood all the way up. The broadhead's probably still good. I'll check it to make sure it's true. Sharpen it up and use it again. Well, that was one of my main objectives, was to find that arrow. I really wanted to find the arrow. I try to find my arrow after every animal that I shoot with the with my bow. It just gives you so much information on maybe where the shot is, how well the shot is, how bad the shot is. And then if you had a pass through, or if they carried the arrow for a while, maybe it went in through that opposite shoulder and they carried it 200 yards and then you find the arrow. Well, then you know it was stuck in some bone somewhere, probably, depending on where you hit them, probably that front shoulder, maybe the opposite shoulder. So it tells so much. So I am super pumped that I found that bad boy. The old Montec G5 or G5 Montec with the full metal jackets. Love them. What a combination. All right, well, let's head back over to the deer, and guess I'm gonna start getting him cleaned up and go back and get Vinny. He should be finished with his Zoom school, and we'll get this old boy out of here. Super. We are going to pick up the deer. I got my boy Lonnie with me, and we are gonna take the four-wheeler in there and get him. We just can't drive a pickup in there because there's a wheat field, and everybody should know you shouldn't be driving across anybody's wheat field. Well, we got the old boy loaded, and we are going to head for the shop to get him all cleaned up.
Yeah, you want to be in the camera?